So kind of following up from last video, just another example on this one. Just want to make sure that you guys point out a couple things here. CH is a radius, CG is a radius, but CJ, not a radius. One of those things that you just gotta want to point out to yourself just by inspection on this example here. So let's kind of label out a couple things here. We know that chord FG measures 12 centimeters, which makes each portion 6 because it's bisected. Since we know that our CH is a radius and is bisecting FG, it's going to meet at a 90 degrees, which makes it a perpendicular bisector. The radius of the circle measures 10 centimeters, so I have 10 centimeters here. I also have 10 centimeters over here. And we can go ahead and solve for the length of CJ. I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite my triangle. I always like doing the rewrite just because it helps me kind of frame my thinking. I got C here, G here, and of course J. Here's my 90 degrees, here's my 6, here's my 10, and we can go ahead and set up Pythagorean theory. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. I got to set it up with my 10 as my hypotenuse, my 6 as A, and then I'm just going to kind of carry through my questions here. Putting the 36 onto the other side, solving for B, we can see this is going to be 64, and then we get 8 is equal to B, which means CJ is going to be 8 centimeters. Here's just a little bit of a follow-up question. I would like to know what the distance is of HJ. Well, consider this. We know that C to H is 10 centimeters. We just found out that C to J is 8 centimeters. Well then, that would mean that C to H minus C to J should give us what we're looking for. C to H equals 10 since the radius. We just solved CJ. So then, of course, HJ should be 10 minus 8. So I just want to talk a little bit about this because this is kind of deceptive. We have pretty much done all that we can do on this question. There's not too much else that we can really ask about it. But just take a look at some of the dimensions that's kind of given to us, right? This is why you can't really trust a lot of the diagrams of how they look just off of face value, right? This is supposed to be 6 here, and we just found that this was actually going to be 2. Well, if you just look at 6 and 2, I mean, this does not look like it's 3 times less than the size of this. Similarly, if this was 8 here, this looks like a shorter distance than it does for this 6. And same goes for the 10. It doesn't really look that much more than the 6. In fact, it almost rivals that distance. So just kind of be aware of some things about these questions where if you're looking at these questions and kind of trying to base your answer off the diagram, what I'm trying to say here is the diagram usually isn't to scale. If they were going to try to make this diagram to scale, it would be pretty hard for them in order for you to see what's going on. This line would be quite very, very close to the edge of the circle, and it would be quite hard for them to kind of gauge how to actually draw this for you so that you can actually see what's going on. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing these ones, that it's not exactly to scale. But yeah, good question, kind of a follow-up. Hopefully it was easy for you.